this is Hedda and I'm so happy that you're here. January is coming to an end and it's time for me to show you my February setup in my bullet journal. I didn't want to do any brush lettering this month, so I went on Pinterest to find some cool fonts, and this is the one I ended up with. Because all the spreads for this month are quite minimal, I wanted to make a nice front page to kind of separate January and February, and I decided to draw some daisies because they are literally the simplest flower to draw, and I'm not very good at drawing flowers, so it's perfect for me. I'm not a fan of the Valentine's themes for February, so I decided to go with green as my color this month. So I drew these leaves with the daisies so that I could color them green, and then I made this circle and line pattern in the back. They are kind of inspired by some tattoos that I saw online. This is one of my favorite Tombows at the moment, and it's the color 158. The journal I'm using right now is a Lemome journal, and I'm not used to the paper being this yellow since I have always used journals with white paper. So it's kind of interesting to see what the colors look like on different papers. For my calendar, I decided to remake the calendar I made last year in March because the setup is so simple and clean, and I went with the same font as on the front page, and instead of writing the whole name of the days, I just wrote the first letter. And then for the days of the month, I wrote February in black, and then the dates in January and March I wrote with a gray pen. Because the setup is so simple, I wanted a little bit of decoration, so I decided to make this little section on the left side of the page and draw some daisies, and that way I'm keeping the rest of the spread simple and minimal without any interruption. I think it would feel a little bit boring for me if there was no decoration, so that's why I made this border. I'm sticking with green as the only color though, because I really like having one color be the main color of each month. So for January I did red and gold, and for February it's green, which is a very non-traditional color for February. After my calendar, I decided to make a spread dedicated to my part-time job. I am a master's student, but I work part-time in a store, so I decided to make a work schedule on the left side where I would mark which days of February I'm working, and then on the right side I will keep an overview of how much I will make in February. So I wanted to make this calendar kind of messed up here. I made the line too long, so I tried to fix that with my white gel pen, but because the paper is so yellow, it's kind of showing up anyway, but I did my best to fix it. There are worse things that could go wrong, so it doesn't really bother me. I'm not going to explain the spread to the right in too much detail just because I prefer to keep my pay private, but I will be posting pictures of the spread more filled in on my Instagram, so go check that out if you're interested in seeing how it works. Now on to my sleep tracker. This one I stole from another Norwegian bullet journaler on Instagram. She makes these really cool sleep trackers, and I just had to try it for myself. So my goal is to sleep 8 hours every night, a minimum. So that's this line or the circle I'm drawing here, and then I'll just make a graph out of it. On the other side, I'm just putting in a section for notes, which I usually don't do, but I thought I'd try it this time. And those are all of the monthly spreads I'm making this time. Now moving on to my weekly spread, I thought I would make a Dutch door. So I just folded one page in half and then glued it together. And then I'm using this really cool bamboo washi tape to go with my green theme and kind of decorating the bottom and the upper half of the page. The great thing about Dutch doors is that it gives you a little bit more room to play with, so I made this big title for week 6 and then a little calendar, and then I let each day have a lot of space to write, so there's room for lots of tasks or even some journaling if I feel like it. And then I have a little section on the right side for any readings that are due for my lectures, and then the bottom half of the right page I'm not really sure what I will use for yet, but I think it will be one of those random note sections. Or maybe I will draw a little, who knows. Instead of only having the washi tape as decoration, I decided to make a similar drawing to the one I made on the front page, just to keep the daisy theme going. I wasn't really focused when I made this drawing, and so first I forgot to draw the leaves, so I had to put them in afterwards, but it kind of worked out anyway. You may notice that I'm starting with February 4th and not with February 1st for my weekly spreads of February, and that's because week number 5 actually has 4 days in January and only 3 in February, so I decided to leave that week in with the January spreads because I like to keep my weeks whole. So here I'm just going over all of the daisies with some lines to make them look a little bit prettier, and yeah, I think I'm done. I've been using a bullet journal for about 1.5 years, and I found out that I really don't need a million different trackers every month, so this kind of setup is really perfect for me. And I really like the calendar setup. It's actually one of my favorites and I should use it more, but I try to change it up every month just for myself because I like to have the variation. I will be posting pictures of all of these spreads as I fill them in on my Instagram, so please head on over there. I am also planning a giveaway in the near future, so I recommend heading over to my Instagram and keeping an eye out for that. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to give my video a thumbs up if you liked it, and feel free to subscribe to me for more similar content. See you next time!